Putin's failing war. GCHQ boss rips apart the incompetent invasion of Ukraine in an unprecedented attack as he reveals new intelligence shows soldiers refusing orders, sabotaging their own equipment and accidentally shooting down their own aircraft. The director of GCHQ has launched an unprecedented attack on Vladimir Putin, claiming his bungled personal war in Ukraine has backfired badly. In an excoriating verdict on the failing invasion, Sir Jeremy Fleming said the command and control of Russia's campaign was in chaos in his first public statements on the invasion. The spy chief revealed new intelligence showing that ill-prepared Russian soldiers are refusing to carry out orders, sabotaging their own equipment and even accidentally shooting down their own aircraft. He also claimed Putin's own advisors are lying to him about Russia's startling losses, speaking to the despot's isolation and authoritarian approach. Sir Jeremy said Putin's misjudgments had forced him to adopt Plan B, barbarity against civilians and cities. The head of Britain's eavesdropping intelligence agency also warned China not to be too closely aligned with a country that willfully breaks all the rules and norms for a new global governance. His unprecedented public rebuke of a foreign leader came as US officials said Putin had lost faith in his top brass, who are too afraid to tell him the truth about the war. We're now seeing Putin trying to follow through on his plan, but it is failing. And his plan B has been more barbarity against civilians and cities, Sir Jeremy said during a speech in the Australian capital Canberra. It increasingly looks like Putin has massively misjudged the situation. It's clear he misjudged the resistance of the Ukrainian people. He underestimated the strength of the coalition his actions would galvanize. He underplayed the economic consequences of the sanctions regime. He overestimated the abilities of his military to secure a rapid victory. He added, "We've seen Russian soldiers, short of weapons and morale, refusing to carry out orders, sabotaging their own equipment and even accidentally shooting down their own aircraft. Even though we believe Putin's advisors are afraid to tell him the truth, what's going on and the extent of these misjudgments must be crystal clear to the regime." Speaking during a visit to Australia to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Australian Signals Directorate, GCHQ's Australian equivalent, the spy chief said, "We know Putin's campaign is beset by problems, low morale, logistical failures and high Russian casualty numbers. Their command and control is in chaos. We've seen Putin lie to his own people in an attempt to hide military incompetence." Sir Jeremy continued, "It all adds up to the strategic miscalculation that Western leaders warned Putin it would be. It's become his personal war, with the cost being paid by innocent people in Ukraine and increasingly by ordinary Russians too. The great irony is that through his actions, Putin has brought upon himself exactly what he was trying to avoid: a Ukraine with a renewed sense of nationhood, a NATO that is more united than ever, and a global coalition of nations that condemn his actions." In a rare public address in Canberra, Sir Jeremy warned that Putin was planning to use a shadow branch of the Russian military known as the Wagner Group as cannon fodder to try to limit Russian military losses. His candid remarks came as Western intelligence revealed Putin didn't even know his military was using and losing conscripts, showing a clear breakdown in the flow of accurate information. A US official said, "We have information that Putin felt misled by the Russian military. There is now persistent tension between Putin and the MOD, stemming from Putin's mistrust in MOD leadership. Russia has lost as many as 15,000 troops as well as more than 2,000 military vehicles." Moscow pledged yesterday to withdraw troops from Kyiv and Chernihiv in what it said was an effort to build trust in constructive peace negotiations. Ukraine said it could see no significant withdrawal of Russian forces. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said the signs were positive, but those signals do not drown out the explosions or Russian shells. There are hopes now that Russia will finally observe a planned local ceasefire in and around Mariupol, which has endured a sustained bombardment for a month. The Russian Defense Ministry announced yesterday that its forces will observe a local ceasefire on Thursday to allow civilians to be evacuated from the southern port city, which has been under siege from Putin's forces since shortly after the invasion began. A humanitarian corridor from Mariupol to Zaporizhzhia, via the Russian-controlled port of Berdyansk, would be open from 10 a.m., 7 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the ministry said on Wednesday. For this humanitarian operation to succeed, we propose to carry it out with the direct participation of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and the International Committee of the Red Cross, the ministry statement said. The Russian ministry asked Kyiv to guarantee the unconditional respect for the ceasefire through written notification to the Russian side, the UNHCR and ICRC before 6 a.m. 0300 GMT on Thursday.